have to talk about Toshi. As you can see, we are up 14.3% in the last 24 hours. And a lot of people in the Toshi community believe that we are about to pump and take off for multiple reasons. So we're about to talk about those multiple reasons in this video today. Anyways, remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this financial advice. Let's get straight to it. We have 309 million in market cap right now, 32 million in trading volume. So the trading volume could be higher, especially because the last time we had like a major pump, we had a pretty high trading volume, right? If you look all the way back here to January of this year, you can see our volume was 1.2 billion, not million, billion. And then the market cap around that time was sitting at 593 million. So the volume was twice the size of the market cap. Rarely see that in crypto. When you see it, it's usually a project that just has insane potential. So that's why I think Toshi is probably going to be that next like major project, and it's really been cooking up right now. A lot of people in the community, like I said, believe that it's about to take off. Don't worry, I'm gonna go over my own technical analysis here. But this person here, Zach Humphrey, says Toshi weekly chart looks insanely bullish. So this is the weekly chart that he has right here. All right, this is his weekly chart he's looking at. I can bring it up here to show you guys what it looks like on my screen. So this is the Toshi weekly chart. Now you can see the weekly chart. It looks a little bit different on here because obviously not all the information is going to be on Coinbase. Well, it is looking at it from the point of view of Coinbase. So we have to look at it like that. But yeah, I do believe it is bullish, but there's just not enough information on this weekly chart. So he probably has a different one that, has the information on there. But yeah, there's just not enough on this chart. Particularly, what I like looking at is the 4-hour and the daily chart. But yeah, I mean, his chart still looks pretty good. So he has that. That does look bullish, I will say. Looks pretty bullish to me. And this is another person talking about Toshi. So they're talking about how Toshi is about to take off as well. And not only that, we have more people saying how this is bullish, Toshi being on Robinhood's user interface. Now, Baby Doge has been on Robinhood's user interface for the longest, and nothing's happened. So I don't think this is as bullish as they're saying. But Toshi is now such a big project that it has the possibility of getting listed to Robinhood very soon. So I would still say this is pretty bullish, but it doesn't really mean much. But it could be getting listed to Robinhood soon. So we'll have to wait and see. If it does, it's going to be massive. So yeah, we'll just have to wait for that. And then people are also pushing for it to get listed to Binance as well. So let's go ahead and do like a technical here and just look at what we'll see inside the prices of Toshi. First, I'll break down what we talked about in the previous video. So in the previous video, I was talking about what your gains can be at certain levels. If it goes from this Fibonacci right here at about 0.0007 all the way up here to this Fibonacci at about 0.001, then it's a 55% gain. If we pull back down to this support line here, and then we go up to that same Fibonacci resistance, we're at 120% gains. Now, if we pull that back down to this support here at 0.00035, and then we go up to that Fibonacci, then we're looking at a 200% gain. Which one is more likely to happen? Well, first, we're already doing the first one right now. We've pulled back to the support here at 0.0006, and there is a possibility that there is a stronger pullback, but I'm going to break down what we're looking at for the financials and the technicals to see if we really will be pulling back. Now, remember, we have huge economic data coming out for the U.S. and the United States. It controls a lot of what happens in the markets, and there's a lot of economic data coming out from the U.S. So you have to pay attention to that as well, and also paying attention to what's happening inside of Bitcoin as well. But yeah, just some of the economic data that we have coming out right now. We have home sales. We have the Fed Chair Jerome Powell speaking tomorrow. So he's doing this whole big speech tomorrow. Anything can happen. It could be bearish. It could be bullish. Anything can happen at this point. Yeah, tomorrow is going to be a crazy day in the markets. As of right now, Bitcoin is looking bullish on the 15-minute. Bitcoin is also looking a little bit bullish on the 30-minute. But we gotta be careful. The longer out we extend this, when you look at the 1 hour chart, you're like, okay, it's kind of over exhausted here on the percent R trend exhaustion, a little over exhausted. You might see that pullback here for the hourly chart. So it's not looking too bullish for the hourly. But for the 4 hour chart, it's looking insanely bullish. The 4 hour chart has became oversold here on the MACD for Bitcoin. The 4 hour chart is really oversold here on the percent R trend exhaustion. The trend is completely exhausted to the downside. It's ready for upside. We can see down here with the bars on the trend exhaustion, whenever you see that blue bar at the bottom with the blue up arrow, it's indicating that the selling pressure is exhausted and it's ready to go up. Doesn't always do it to a T. Sometimes it'll stay exhausted for a long time, like how it stayed at overbuying for a long time from this period on. So it could do the same thing on the opposite end of the spectrum and stay oversold for a long time. So we could have that as well. But as of right now, it is looking a little bit bullish. But back to Toshi, because we know that Bitcoin does matter. Toshi, it can still break away from Bitcoin, right? Like Toshi's pumping right now, Bitcoin's not really doing as well. So, you know, we always have moments like this where these coins break away from the influence of Bitcoin. Now, for Toshi on the 4 hour chart, when you look at the percent R trend exhaustion, the trend looks like it's almost exhausted, but it just had such a sharp rise upwards here. But it could easily, quickly reverse from here. Just because, like, look, if we do exhaust the trend and we get all the way up here at the top, we are going to have a nasty pullback, kind of like how we did before. It's not even a nasty pullback, let's be honest. Let's be completely honest. It's from up here down to here. That was the first pullback. That wasn't even nasty. But we could look at the percentage that we had from there. So that was a 25% pullback. Wasn't too bad. Had almost immediate recovery from there. So all good there. We're bullish here on the MACD for Toshi for the 4 hour chart. The percent R trend exhaustion, slightly bullish, but if we can get oversold pretty or overbought pretty quick for that, so we would definitely want to watch out. On the 2 hour chart, we just came off of the selling exhaustion here that I was talking about. You can see what I'm talking about even better here with the percent R trend exhaustion. You see the blue bar with the blue arrow facing upwards is showing that the trend is now switching into the buying zone. So we're not necessarily overbought yet here on the 2 hour. So we're still technically bullish. But when you look over here at the MACD is looking a bit overbought, but it hasn't done it for a while yet. It hasn't overextended itself. So there's the possibility that it can continue to run when you look at the 2 hour. We come down to the 1 hour though. The 1 hour is exhausted on the percent R trend exhaustion. The 1 hour is pretty much overbought here, and it is looking for that reversal. If you look back here, what happened last time we had that same thing happen? It pulled back a little bit, but then it kept going and it kept being overbought. But then it finally did a bigger pullback. And if you look forward, it did the same thing back here, pulled back a little bit when it had that overbought signal, but then it went off again. So even if we have a pullback, it might not be big. We should be pulling back a little bit right now, though, just a little bit. Like we could pull back to this support here or this one, followed by another pump. But we are seeing that we are still overbought here on the MACD and the percent R trend exhaustion we're overbought. So we could have a bigger downtrend than what we're expecting. And this is the 1 hour chart. But overall, it does seem pretty bullish. But just the smaller charts are overbought. So you can see here overbought here on 30-minute chart for Toshi. You can see the MACD here was overbought. Now it's pulling back, selling off. You're seeing selling pressure coming for the MACD. And then if we come over here to the 15-minute chart, we were overbought. 15-minute chart's a little bit too small, so I don't really like to look at it. So that one doesn't really matter as much. But yeah, definitely be careful. I believe the chart that matters the most right now is this 4 hour chart. And it's coming off of this oversold area. And we are seeing buying coming back in. and we're seeing the direction of the trend going back upwards. So according to the 4-hour chart, I'm expecting another move upwards. This might be the move that helps get us back up to 0.001, but we'll have to wait and see. Well, we'll just have to wait and see. And remember, tomorrow we have this economic data coming out. Everything could literally be invalidated tomorrow if we get bad news from the Fed. Everything will be invalidated. None of this will matter. So you have to remember that as well. But yeah, this is all I got for you all today. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you guys want me to go over next. And as always, I'll be back with another video.